And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, we're blessed and highly favored here in studio today with us, Don and Kasie Copeland joining us, the Copeland Team in studio with us, and also State Representative Berny Jaques is going to join us and talk a little bit about the efforts to eliminate property taxes in the state of Florida. The offices of Florida Doge has been going around the state and sniffing out a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. Over $1 billion. I think it's closer to $1.5 billion now that has been found to be wasteful spending throughout the state of Florida. So there's a great high probability that we're going to be eliminating property taxes on primary residences. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit here. Also some trends that the Copeland Team is seeing here locally. The CopelandTeam.com, you can find them online. ConsumerQB.com as well is for all of our expert contributors. You can see links there to our experts, previous shows, videos, links to our YouTube. You can submit an email form there as well. Hit us up online at consumerqb.com. Also, I follow the chief economist at NAR, the National Association of Realtors, chief economist Lawrence Yun. We're going to talk, or I'm going to look at recent posts that he put out talking about mortgage rates and kind of the difference there between long-term rates and the Federal Reserve, when they cut that overnight lending rate, that direct short-term rate versus the long-term rate. So we'll kind of talk about that with our expert contributors here in studio with us today as well. Also, if you listened to our show this past week, how much farmland is owned by Chinese companies. Wow, the numbers are staggering. I just saw this out of the headlines from the Epoch Times. And we'll talk a little bit about that here on today's program. And as you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air. It's part of a strategy that helps us sell faster for more money with less headaches. We're certified negotiation experts and marketing experts as well. And it's our great duty. It's our highest duty is to help our sellers sell faster for more money, maximum exposure that leads to maximum profits in a shorter marketing period. We're broadcasting the entire Gulf Coast of Florida with our listings. And, of course, we're doing all the traditional marketing, MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, all the major sites, postcard mailers, things of that nature. Of course, professional photography, video, things like that as well. We got a couple of hot listings here. Let's start with the Weeki Wachee Marina. If anybody wants to buy a marina, we got a great one for you. 7154 Shoreline Boulevard. $3.7 million listing here. This is a commercial property. It's a business. You're buying the real estate as well. You have almost 3/4 of an acre lot. It's a well-established waterfront business with irreplaceable real estate on the Weeki Wachee River, access to the Gulf of Mexico, multi-use property here. So you've got income coming in from John boat rentals, kayaks, paddle boards, rentals as well, deck space, commercial vessels, private vessel storage. You have retail building that's offering fishing and boating supplies, plus an on-site ice maker, one of those big ice makers generating income. You have livable space upstairs, which could be rented out, Airbnb potentially, or maybe a live-in manager, on-site manager. Long-standing team in place as well for your service and repairs operations. They're an authorized Suzuki servicer as well. So great opportunity to buy real estate. 7154 Shoreline Boulevard. We have the Weeki Wachee Marina for sale up there. I guess they say there's a bunch of mermaids up there too, don't they? I think there's some mermaids up that area. You got here's another nice listing too. 12948 Twin Bridges Drive, Riverview, Florida. Single family home, gorgeous property. Owner pride shines through in this lovely home, and I love the decor. I love the layout here. Lighter color kitchen cabinetry. Huge island in the kitchen there as well. 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, 3-car garage, 35 square feet. You have almost a 1/4 acre lot. You have a versatile bonus room upstairs. Could be an office, a gym, or playroom. You have open concept throughout this home. Great opportunity. Large bedrooms, split floor plans. Triple Creek is a great community as well. You have lots of amenities. 3 community pools, splash pad, 2 clubhouses, 2 fitness centers, playground, tennis and basketball courts, dog park, and walking trails, all with low HOA fees and no flood insurance required. Now, anytime we say that, our compliance department will say, per the owner, we would still recommend you get a quote. Think about getting insurance on it just in case. Yeah, beautiful property there. 12948 Twin Bridges Drive, Riverview, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see all of our radio and TV show expert contributors at consumerqb.com. That's right, yeah. Shout out to all of our veterans out there. We greatly appreciate you. And let's welcome in Don and Kasie Copeland. Welcome back in.
Thanks.
Hey, Brandon, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. And I know you guys do a lot of loans for veterans too, don't you, out there? Speaking of veterans.
Yeah, I'm a military veteran myself, and
yeah,
so that's what we focus on. I think I would do. I would handle just the veterans, let her do the rest of it if I could.
What's that about?
Hey, you guys split it up however you want. You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
Let's get the deals in the pipeline. You know, how is the market treating you? How are things going? What do you see happening out there?
We can always use more buyers, as you
Yeah.
guys know. It's just, I think people are waiting to see what happens with the rates. And so
Yeah.
they're just kind of sitting on the fence and not wanting to make a decision before the end of the year. And so we're hoping that picks up as rates start to I shouldn't say start to come down. They're coming down. So
Yeah.
hopefully people will get off the fence.
Yeah. Don, what's your take?
Well, I was gonna say with them, already nudging down a little bit. It seemed like we had the first group kind of jump off the fence, and then now we're back in a holding pattern again. Wait
Yep.
to see what happens next.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you kind of see what happens. Here's what Federal Reserve, the chief economist at NAR says. He says the Federal Reserve announced on October 14th that it may stop its quantitative tightening policy, which will help nudge mortgage rates lower. Mortgage rates are for the long term, while the Federal Reserve's direct interest rate policy is for the short term. That is why the 30-year mortgage rates never follow one-on-one lockstep with the Fed's interest rate decision. Mortgage rates follow more closely with the longer, wider than normal, with the spread at 220 to 300 basis points. Historically, the spread would be around 160 to 180 basis points. This excessively wide spread was partly driven by the quantitative tightening policy of reducing mortgage-backed securities holdings by the market by the Fed. With this policy changing, mortgage rates should move lower. In other words, mortgage rates could reach 5.75 to 6% since the 10-year Treasury is at a 4.04% today. So what does that mean in lay terms, Don or Kasie, whoever wants to take that?
I'll let you take that one. You explain it very well.
Well, no, I was just looking at that thinking I want that to send to my borrowers because
Yeah.
I think we answer that question more than
Absolutely.
anything else. But I think that explained it well, but I think the bigger part is that because they're not directly related
Yeah.
to that rate. And we as lenders, I mean, we know what's getting ready to happen. We know what they're going to cut or whatever. So you'll see that rates are actually lowered ahead of time.
They're baked in.
In anticipation, yeah. So almost every single time the Fed's cut that rate, mortgage rates go up.
Right.
And people call and they're like, hey, I heard the rates went down. I want a lower rate. And it's kind of hard. I mean, if I didn't do what I do, I wouldn't understand it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because we're in the business,
Right.
and we've been doing this for 20 years plus, and when you think about it, it is a little bit confusing, but it's based on the long-term bonds. It's more
correct.
Yeah, it's more based on that because you think about a 30-year mortgage. Do you see some of your folks doing like the biweekly payment to try to pay it down faster? Is that something maybe you coach on? Have you heard about that?
Yes, absolutely. I deal with a lot of the first-time home buyers, so I do a lot of coaching, and that is one of the things that I do coach them on. And have to explain why to do the biweekly, saves on the interest and yada yada yada. So we are seeing a lot more of that. Everywhere they can save a penny, they want to save a penny. So there is a lot of coaching on that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If you have 52 weeks in a year, that's 26 biweekly periods. That equals 13 if you cut that in half. So what you're doing essentially is getting that 13th payment in per year, getting ahead of the interest and knocking that interest down faster. So, some of the stats say you can pay off a 30-year mortgage in 23 years if you were to follow that logic or that mindset.
100%.
Yeah.
And a lot of the first time home buyers too, I coach them on if they can't do those biweekly payments, when they get their tax returns back, take that amount and apply it towards the principal. And essentially it's the same thing that you just said. It's taken off that, that extra payment.
Yeah.
And so they really appreciate just those couple little tidbits of information. I'll get a phone call, 3 or 4 years down the road, and they're like, Kasie, oh my gosh, just those little couple things saved us so much interest, because, they get the amortization schedule so they can see, how much is going towards interest, how much is going towards principal.
Right.
And the first 5 years is scary.
Yeah.
Because you're not paying anything except the interest.
Yeah. Like
so when they're able,
interest,
exactly. So when they're able to cut into that and they're starting to see their balance come down, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So yes,
the word amortization in Latin means to die slow.
I actually never knew that.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
Yeah, I can see to die slow. Amortization. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah. All right, Consumer Quarterback Show. If you just joined us, we're talking with Don and Kasie Copeland here, the Copeland Team, powered by Benchmark Mortgage, CopelandTeam.com. They're online at CopelandTeam.com. And when you think about the market right now, yes, gosh, we're in paradise here. We're in the state of Florida. We just had our humidity break that we get this time of year, and things are looking great. It's just nice and refreshing to be able to go outside and not immediately start sweating like middle of summer. But great time to be in Florida. Great place to live, work, and play in Tampa Bay. And there's a lot of positive things happening too. I mean, if this goes through with the Florida Doge, and this is a statement put out by the Florida Young Republicans to GOP leaders. It's time to axe the property tax. So the chairman, Brandon Ludwig, says ending property taxes will unlock new home ownership opportunities, empower working families, and fuel economic growth throughout Florida. And he went on to say that our generation will not sit idly by and let corporate interests turn our country into a nation of renters. And I think there's so many people. You got BlackRock, some of these big companies.
Right.
There's so many people that would like to see that happen in America. They want to turn us into renters so we don't have that patriotic. It affects everything. You're less patriotic. You're less likely to, something simple as picking up toilet or paper on the sidewalk. You're not going to pick that up because you're like, I rent here. I don't live here. It's not my house. I'm not going to do weekend chores and paint and put in nice flowers in the flower beds or whatever. What's your thoughts generally around renting versus owning?
Own.
Big time.
Just own.
That's right.
We say it all the time. Why pay someone else's mortgage?
Yeah.
Pay your own mortgage. Build that equity. Build that wealth. And you're right. They're also going to have more pride in their home because it's theirs. It's not someone else's. That paper on the sidewalk will get picked up because they don't want somebody else walking by going, "Oh my gosh, look at that house!" So own.
Yeah, get off the fence, get into home ownership, start building that wealth. You look back 10 years later, you got a bunch of equity built up. You pass it down to your kids. Your kids are happy. Great opportunity, to get into the game. Share with us a recent success story. You were telling us a little bit about some of your recent success stories. I love to hear these stories.
Yeah. So obviously doing a lot of VA loans. I can't say names, but we just did a loan a few months ago for an outgoing base commander. And if you're in the military or know anything about the military, that transition from military to civilian can be a little crazy. So he was about, 9 months out from retiring?
About that.
And the VA rules are you have to be within 6 months, you have to have a job lined up, you have to know what your retirement is, in order for a lender to count that income. Well, in this situation, he was about 9 months out, did not have a job lined up, did not know what his retirement was going to be. He had a good idea. Obviously, being a base commander, he kind of has access to that information. So had an idea. But anyway, all the pieces were not perfectly aligned. And I called my underwriter, who all she does is VA loans, and she is a guru, and actually just got Underwriter of the Year for our company. So we are very privileged to have her.
Cool.
Called her up, gave her the scenario, and she's like, okay, Kasie, this is what we're going to do. And we closed that loan. And he has since retired. He does have a job now, knows what his retirement is, gets disability, all of that. But we were able to make that loan work even though he was 9 months out.
Wow.
And it's important to have that relationship, and kind of think outside the box.
Yeah, common sense underwriting.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, because he had been told by another bank and I believe a different lender. That he had to wait.
Yes.
Right.
And being a base commander, he's extremely organized, and he's like, I need to know what I'm doing.
Right.
Come my retirement. And so we were able to close that loan and make it work. And he has since referred several people to us, kind of in the same situation that he was in. So
yeah, that's what's
huge.
great, right? When you get a deal done like that, it has that feel-good story to it, and it's something that maybe another lender just didn't really know to take it to that next level. Or,
absolutely.
Is there a thing still called compensating factors? I remember back when I was in the business, hey, if you had a maybe a little bit lower debt ratio, but you had to go a little higher LTV or something like that, because that's essentially what you're looking at there, right?
Right, 100%. And the way our systems are built is they do take those into consideration. And for a long time, especially after the crash, they went to the opposite extreme and nothing made sense what was going on. So now they've kind of reworked it back into the system that, obviously he's got 30 years in the military. That's a huge compensating factor. He's got retirement. He has all this stuff. And so looking at everything, making common sense decisions is how it needs to happen. Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So reach out to the show. We'd love to put you in touch with Don and Kasie Copeland, owners of the Copeland Team, powered by Benchmark Mortgage, 813-917-1894. You can call the show. You can go to the website, consumerqb.com. Submit an email form there as well, consumerqb.com. And quick break, right back. More with our expert contributors here, Don and Kasie Copeland, on the program. Also, what are the top 5 states that are controlled by the Chinese, or that where Chinese have infiltrated, we'll call it that? 93% of the acreage held by Chinese entities are in these 5 states. We'll talk about that here coming up as well. And we'll get into some real estate stats later on, tell you what's going on here in Hillsborough County, and more with our expert contributors. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com. Our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com. Looking to level up your sales game? With 20 plus years of coaching experience spanning across several industries, Lindsay Rimes helps everyone from entry-level reps to seasoned business owners boost sales, improve work-life balance, and retain top talent with customized options catered to personal, group, or corporate settings. Brandon and Lindsay Rimes offer training on negotiation strategy, business development, and more. Let's grow your business together. Call 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Submit an email at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, 7200 Ulmerton Road, unit number E3 in Largo. This is a nice listing here. We have a motivated seller on Ulmerton Road, 7200 Ulmerton Road. This one is 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You got a 1-spot carport there. You got over 1,000 square foot updated condo, low monthly HOA, community pool, clubhouse, open concept, and beautiful community pool there. I like the stainless steel in the kitchen there, tile flooring, granite countertops. Great opportunity to buy a property here. Beautiful condo, new HVAC, ductwork as well. This one's 7200 Ulmerton Road, number E3 in Largo, Florida, close to the beaches. Largo's a great area. Beautiful property there. 1210 Paradise Lake Drive. This one is in Tarpon Springs. You're close to Lake Tarpon here. 1210 Paradise Lake Drive. You got 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, 2274 square feet. You have a 0.14 acre lot. You've got a beautiful pool and spa package, screened-in pool, spa, lighter color kitchen cabinetry there, stainless steel appliances, carpeted master or living room there, and a fireplace in the living room as well. 1210 Paradise Lake Drive, Tarpon Springs, Florida. Beautiful listing. You can see all of our properties at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see all of our expert contributors, radio show expert contributors at consumerqb.com. All right, so we're in studio here with Don and Kasie Copeland talking about their company, their business, the Copeland Team, powered by Benchmark Mortgage. And Don, you are recruiting right now as well. You guys are recruiting.
I am. We are. It's funny. I say we recruit, but I'm a horrible recruiter.
Okay.
and here's why. All I can do is explain to us why I love my job, why I love the company we work for. And I kind of take it personal sometimes. I'll talk to them about, what all we have. And if they decide not to join, I'm like, I must not have explained it well enough.
That's okay.
But, we've been places my job was to recruit, and I wouldn't because I didn't want to bring anyone into that place.
Yeah.
But having worked at a handful of places and been a broker, been in a bank, run a bank mortgage department, and done all these things, I believe we are in the best place in the industry right now.
100%.
We're recruiting a lot of people right now because they're at companies that have grown and grown and grown, and now they feel like they're lost.
Yeah.
We have company-wide, we have I think it's 675 people nationwide.
Yeah.
But our team has about a dozen. We're open in all different states. You can work with us and we can support you. You can go out and get business, or you can open your own branch and we can support that as well.
Yeah.
So it's been, as I've been out and traveling the country and telling people about it, it's been very, people have been excited, and actually now it's a good time for people to move to a place that will take care of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you have contraction in the industry, you have the 80-20 rule in full effect, right? So you've
Correct.
got the 20% of people that are getting deals done, getting the deals done, 80% of the business. So stick around with us if you can.
Sure.
More with Don and Kasie Copeland coming up. And we're going to bring in Representative Berny Jaques coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Rep. Berny Jaques. He's a state representative in Florida here. We're going to find out what's coming out of Tallahassee. How real are these potential tax reforms because I know a lot of people that I've been talking to are excited about it. Let's get rid of these property taxes. Kind of like the Tea Party. Tax enough already, right? All right, coming up, Berny Jaques here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team based here in Tampa Bay, and we always feature our listings on air, and we're going to do that here in just a moment. But we've got State Representative Berny Jaques joining us. We're going to talk with him. What's the latest from Tallahassee? What's he seeing? Are the reforms possible? Are they real? What we're talking about with the property taxes. We'll get his opinion here in just a moment. Before we do, 9914 Ala Vista Drive, Gibsonton, Florida. One of my favorite listings right now. This is a $1 million listing, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1922 square feet. You got an elevated stilt home at the end of a quiet street on a large waterfront lot. This is nestled on a canal of the Alafaya River with direct access to the Gulf. You have a beautiful property here, elevated stilt home. You have a metal roof, a steel metal roof there, solar panels on the roof, beautiful boat dock with a lift, with a jet ski lift, 12,000 pound boat lift, that is, 1,000-pound jet ski lift as well, RV parking, all tucked securely behind private electric gate. Check out 9914 Ala Vista Drive, Gibsonton, Florida. Luxury International, Keller Williams Luxury International. Got a 50-year galvanized standing seam roof, metal roof there with hurricane shutters. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, going to the phone lines. State Representative Berny Jaques, friend of the program. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Let's jump right into it. The biggest one I love to see and talk about is Florida Doge going around the state. I think it's close to like $1.5 billion of excessive spending found, and that's in an effort to kind of leading up to the opportunity to have the ability as citizens to vote for the property tax elimination or reform. What's your thoughts around that, Berny?
Absolutely, it's a critical effort, and it's part of this push that we are engaged in to give some strong property tax relief to the citizens of Florida. And when you look at government spending, it's tied to the taxes, right? Because if government is overspending, if they're spending on wasteful items, guess what? The money doesn't come out of nowhere. It's going to come from you. And so this is used as a way to highlight how government is using your money. Ultimately, it's your money. It doesn't come out of nowhere, and makes the voters realize that there is a lot of waste out there. And it's also a wake-up call for these local governments to get their house in order for when the property tax relief do come, so that they can tighten up their belt and know what's important and what's not. But voters have to know where this money is going, and that will help the conversation as we head towards a place where we can get strong property tax relief.
Yeah, Governor DeSantis is quoted in an article I'm looking at on Newsweek that property taxes are effectively require homeowners to pay rent to the government. Constitutional protections and Florida homeowners require approval of the voters in 2026. In the meantime, Floridians need relief. Today I'm proposing, and this was a few days ago, I believe, I'm proposing a plan that would result on an average $1,000 rebate checks for each homestead as a discount on their property taxes if the legislature acts on this plan. Where are we at with that particular plan, Berny?
So I haven't seen that plan yet proposed in the legislature. The plans that I have seen is something that's been unveiled in the House just this past week. And this will start creating the ballot language that will go in front of the voters in 2026. This is what the governor's referencing. Anything that is going to be significant, permanent change on property taxes has to be a constitutional amendment. So ultimately, the people of the state of Florida will decide it has to hit 60%. So we have several proposals that are out there now. We've talked before about this committee that I serve on, the Select Committee on Property Taxes, and so far it's been mostly research and looking into the issue, but we finally have some proposals that we are going to be considering. We have categories that eliminate it altogether, and we have categories that add additional exemptions. So I'll give you one example. HJR 201 would eliminate all property taxes that will go in front of the voters if passed by the legislature. HJR 203 would phase out property taxes over a 10-year period. And each year, voters would get, and homeowners would get, a $100,000 exemption. After 10 years, all of the taxes would be eliminated. And then there's another one for residents over the age of 65 to eliminate property taxes. We also have some exemption language. One would add an additional homestead exemption equal to 25% of the assessed value of the house. And then there's another one that ties it to property insurance, because that's also an issue that we also hear a lot about. It's not just the taxes, it's the high cost of property insurance. This reform adds a new property tax, property insurance relief connection by giving a new exemption for anyone who has property insurance. They would be entitled to a $100,000 additional exemption on their property. Now, it's important to note that all of these proposals don't include the school taxes. So these are going to be the taxes going to your cities and your counties, special districts, et cetera. And there's going to be a provision that says these counties and cities cannot reduce law enforcement public safety spending. So they cannot use this as an excuse to defund the police and keep us less safe.
Right. Wow. Yeah, man. Gosh. And I got to get your opinion. I mean, that's a lot of good stuff. I mean, a 10-year phase-out plan as a worst-case scenario, I mean, that's hard to say no to. I want to get your opinion, too. You've got this radical in New York that looks like he's going to be the next mayor of New York City. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the policies. And what do you think the ripple effect of that is going to be? I mean, if they look down here and they see us eliminating property taxes and, you have some of the people that are going to want to leave the city, how do you see that playing out, Berny?
Sure, it could be very problematic. It's definitely going to be problematic to the residents of New York City living under a socialist, but it's going to have ripple effects for those of us who are not in New York City. As you mentioned, Florida is going to be a very attractive place for these folks to flee to, and the concern a lot of my fellow Floridians often have is what type of New Yorkers are these going to be, and will they change the dynamics of our state? So far, we have not seen that, but it's always a concern. But it's not just a concern about what kind of values these people will bring with them, but we also have certain pressures that will be added to our state when you have overcrowdedness. Some are concerned about development, and our infrastructure, our roads keeping up with the massive growth. We're already seeing a ton of growth here in the state of Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. If you just joined us, we're talking with State Representative Berny Jaques, a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's representing District 59 right here in Tampa Bay, and does a great job up there. Berny, you've introduced some legislation that's been passed over the years, and just real excited to see the momentum that we've got in the state of Florida. There's a recent tweet from DeSantis where he was talking to the forum of the Palm Beaches, where he says, "We've run surpluses. We've reduced the state's legacy debts by 50%, cut taxes, and expanded school choice. The result, Florida's economy is ranked number 1 in the nation for the 3rd consecutive year." Man, it just seems like Florida is just literally just kicking butt, man. We're doing such good things.
We are, and look, it's a team effort. We have a great governor in Governor DeSantis. We also have a strong legislature. And the proof is in the pudding, right? It's a reason why everybody wants to live here. It's a reason why business formation is sky high as well, because people see the state as a place where they can prosper. Not only prosper, but a state where they can be safe. We are also a law and order state, a state that doesn't take too kindly to criminal actors, and we will hold you accountable if you hurt our citizens here in our state. These are things that
owned by Chinese companies. This was an interesting article I'm looking at out of the Epoch Times. It talks about that there's 5 states that collectively have 93% of the acreage held by Chinese entities. Florida is number 5 on that list. has about 12,798 in terms of acres in Florida that are owned by Chinese entities. It goes on to talk about how they have invested in multiple food producers. Smithfield Foods, notably, is one of the biggest out there producing pork. What are we doing in the state of Florida? What are you seeing and hearing around that to try to keep these foreign, our adversaries out of our acreage and away from our military installations?
So I haven't seen that specific report, but what I can say is about 2 years ago, we passed legislation to address this very issue. Any sort of military installations, any type of critical infrastructure, the Chinese are not allowed to buy land near those sites. Now, what happened is a lot of the Chinese have already owned some of them prior to the law coming into existence. So I think that's probably what the report is highlighting. And so now there has to be a renewed conversation about seizing or finding a way where we could thread the needle legally to take back land back when it was legal for them to own, because this is an issue that we can never let go. This is an issue we can't take our eye off the ball on, because if we do, I mean, you're literally letting the fox into the hen house, and these people don't mean well for us. They want our demise, and we certainly shouldn't let them be owning farmland and land near critical infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. And another topic that keeps coming up, just kind of, I haven't researched it at all, but, I've got a friend that's a private pilot, and he's flying the airplane, private jets around the state of Florida and the Southeast. But this topic comes up. Have you seen or are we looking into the weather manipulation, the chemtrails? I know there's condensation trails. Tell me about that. Yep.
Yes, sir. So last session, we passed a bill in the Florida legislature, and Governor DeSantis signed it. That strengthens our resolve against these weather modification tactics. And it was happening before. They used to say you were a conspiracy theorist, that you were cuckoo. But it turns out it was true, because guess what? As soon as my friend Representative Steele, he filed the bill, you had some people coming to testify, the people that actually do this thing. And they were saying, don't regulate us, or if it doesn't exist, why did these people come telling us not to pass the bill, right? Wow. But we went forward, we passed it, and now there are strong provisions to crack down on that in the skies of Florida, and there are strong reporting mechanisms as well that are in place, and Governor DeSantis has been making good on executing that law that we passed and that he signed.
Wow. Yeah, that's super interesting. What about what else do we need to ask you, Bernie? What are you seeing locally here? State Representative Berny Jaques on the Consumer Quarterback Show, District 59, and his website is Berny for Florida. Is that right?
That's right. Berny with a Y. Berny with a Y.
Berny with a Y.
F-O-R Florida. Yeah. Not IE like the socialists.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a lot of things folks need to look out for. We are getting into the busy times of heading up to Tallahassee. During the fall, we'll be going up periodically for committee weeks. Session will begin in January. So I encourage all of your listeners to stay in touch with their members of the legislature, see what they're up to, give your ideas, because now is the time where we're compiling all of our ideas so we can propose them as bills in the legislative session coming up in January. On my end, we're going to continue to be on the forefront of cracking down on illegal immigration. I've already filed 2 bills to achieve that aim. We're bringing back our E-Verify bill that makes it mandatory for all businesses to verify that their workers are legally authorized to work in this country and in our state. And I also filed a new bill called the Shane Jones Act. This bill will hold governments accountable that don't enforce our immigration laws, which later leads to one of our own being harmed. Mm-hmm. This gives recourse to those families that are harmed, and it allows those governments to be penalized financially as well for every month they are not in compliance.
Yes, that's a good one. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. We're talking with State Rep Berny Jaques here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Bernie, we lost a true American over a month ago now, Charlie Kirk. He was, taken from us by a vile, human being, an assassin that took. I want to play a clip and then get your reaction on. Charlie was really warning about the, the threats of Islam. and some of the other challenges that are facing. I mean, there's so many challenges facing our country because, hey, we are number one. Everybody wants to knock off number one. But here's a quick clip from Charlie, and then I want your reaction.
The spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. Man, there's nobody that can articulate as well as Charlie. I mean, all of that in a 90-second clip there. Bernie, your reaction, please. Wow, so well put, and we're going to miss him dearly. There's not a day that goes by where patriots of all stripes miss this young man. Look, he's spot on, and he's prophetic. And in fact, not even prophetic, it's happening in real time. Yeah. If you think about it, I mean, we just talked about Mom Dami. That's the ideology he's engaged in, right? It's both Islamism and Marxism, and it's going to overtake the city of New York. Now, we have to stand guard. We have to be watchful, as Charlie Kirk urged us to be. Because here's the thing, if we're not, we're going to wake up in a society where, our kids can't, play in the streets safely, where they are being indoctrinated. Yes. And this was happening just a little bit ago here, even in our state. And so we pushed back against it. So we know this is happening right here and right now, and it's only going to get worse if we don't have the courage to push back against it. That's what I'm committed to do as a state representative, and I encourage all of my colleagues to do likewise, and every ordinary citizen to keep watch as well. Yes, absolutely. Well, Bernie, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thanks for all the hard work, all the effort that you're putting in, you and your colleagues up there, and keep it up, man. Keep up the good work. We appreciate you. You got it. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Take care. All righty. Take care. Okay, quick break. Right back. We'll have some more reaction on that here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online, consumerqb.com, at Brandon Rimes 1, at CQB Show. And please subscribe to our YouTube Rumble channel. Coming up more, we'll do some analysis on that. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. Tired of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation. Aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online. WillSmithAviation.com. That's WillSmithAviation.com. Or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune, at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal
personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at targetsurveying.net. For all of your surveying needs, land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, targetsurveying.net. That's targetsurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Love it. All right, we're back. Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. I got to get a shout out to my friend Lee over at Lee's Royal Services. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. LeesRoyalServices.com. Check him out online, LeesRoyalServices.com. Home and office cleaning, handyman service as well, LeesRoyalServices.com. And on the exterior of the property, reach out to our friend Ramin. He's the owner of Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company right here in Tampa Bay. HeightsSoftWash.com. Taking clean to new heights. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And we were talking with Don and Kasie Copeland here in studio with us, and kind of one of the takeaways from that conversation, with New York migration. This is a screenshot. If you're looking at our high tech generation here, what we have, you've got from 2012 to 2022, more people moved from New York into Florida than moved other states, or what, of course. But so there's 383,000 people that moved net migration into Florida, and that negative or that positive personal income migration, that's $37 billion right there. So you think about it. So there's economic impact, but there's also the roads, the sewer, the infrastructure, the housing. We're already at somewhat of a affordable housing crisis in the state of Florida, some people would say. What's your thoughts, generally speaking, around that? Don?
You want to take that one? You want me?
Well, sure. Well, first of all, I'll say a lot of that matches what we are seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Because we obviously track where people come from, whatever, and there's a lot come from there.
Yeah.
And the impact on our local communities is
it's huge. It's huge. But yes, you are right too, Brandon, with the affordable housing.
Right.
It's making it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing is right in line with that statistic.
Yeah.
And it's a
rising
lot.
prices. You've got, rising practice, rising taxes. I think that's why Florida Doge has really come into play, effect, is that,
100%.
like Gainesville, Florida, for example, went up 85% over from 19 to 24, I think it was, or 2020 to 2025. Yeah, so that they're raising taxes, and it's not just because of the population changes. It's because they're fueling it's nepotism. I mean, we saw here in the Hillsborough County Sheriff's, there was some stuff going on.
Right.
So you got to be careful with that kind of thing. How can people connect with you, Don and Kasie Copeland? CopelandTeam.com. How can they connect with you?
Yeah. Get us on the website. Also, our email addresses, it's either Kasie at CopelandTeam.com, Don at CopelandTeam.com, or let's chat at CopelandTeam.com. You're going to get one of us.
There you go.
And then our phone number, 813-706-7603.
03.
Had a blonde moment.
We just moved away from use ourselves. Actually.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, so
get
813.
that office line. Yeah.
Yes.
Have it all routed there. Reach out to the show if you forget where to go. It's consumerqb.com there. You can see links to all of our experts there. Consumerqb.com. Hey, another great show. Thanks to Don and Kasie Copeland, Copeland Team, also State Rep Berny, Jaques, dropping some knowledge. Everything from chemtrails to what's going on with the taxes, the real reform that we want to see as Americans. Because again, we are taxed enough already. We feel like as Floridians we're taxed enough already. But hey, another great show. Thanks to our production staff, producers out there, everybody supporting the show. We greatly appreciate it. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.